All right, today I'm answering, where do you start on a Hell car and what is your PDR workflow? Now let's push. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Legacy Dent Company. Today, I'm answering the question, where do I start when working on a Hell car? What does my process look like? What does my workflow look like? And let me first say, no matter where you start or what your flow is, you do need to start creating some sort of process. A system of processes is going to get you through the Hell season cleaner with more peace of mind. So have at least somewhere where you start. Look, I tell all the students when they come out to the shop, I always start in the same place. I do the same exact thing when I'm mowing my yard at home. And with time now, it's a really easy task to get knocked out. I have a process. I start by edging and weed eating, rolling into mowing, but I start at the same place and I mow through in the same pattern every single time. And by having that process, I'm now not using my entire Sunday on mowing. I go out there, I knock it out early. It's the same thing with your vehicles. Just start developing a place where you start, how you work through the vehicle, and we also want to start creating micro processes on each panel. So look, first of all, I like to start by cleaning up the sides. Usually the top panels are hit the hardest, so I like to knock the sides out from the very beginning. So I'm gonna start at the front fender. I lift the hood. I have my multiple points of access. If I need to drop the bumper, I'll do so then, a liner. But I like to start at the fender, and I'm gonna be placing my light here, my body here, okay? As I knock out that fender and roll into the doors, I'm going to knock out both the front and the rear door. And since I've now been pushing probably for a little bit, I like to break up the monotony, and I like to then jump on the rail and do a little bit of glue pulling. So I push a little, rolling through the side, jump over to glue. I'll carry over and on into the quarter panel where I begin to push. Again, setting up at the back, opening up the rear door, tucking my light inside so I don't have any kind of gaps under my light, good coverage with my light, and then I push out the quarter panel. Usually the sides clean up pretty fast, even on heavier hit damage, unless it's some of that nasty, real heavy side damage, then you might be on the side of the vehicle for an entire day. But I like to knock out one side and then roll over to the other side. So now I have both sides of the vehicle knocked out. I just repeat the same process that I just did on the passenger side over on the driver's side. And then I go into my top panels. Now, here's where I kind of rotate sitting and standing. So I like to take the hood off of the vehicle, place it on a stand, and then I'm sitting. Sometimes I like to stand up and push, but since I've been standing and pushing and glue pulling on the side, this gives me a chance to let the old bones rest for a second, and I push the hood. And then I move to the roof where I am gonna be standing. So I sit, stand, and after knocking out the roof, I go to the trunk where I'm putting that now onto the hood stand, where I've now replaced the hood onto the vehicle, and now I'm sitting again, knocking out the trunk. I usually save the trunk for last. It's not really one of my favorite panels. And look, if you're working on a trunk, make sure, a little tip here is to keep that light moving. The trunk can be very deceiving. You need to cross-check from every angle because of that slight curvature that most deck lids or trunks have. You do not want to work your trunk from just one angle. You need to be getting multiple angles, multiple perspectives. So cross-check like crazy on your deck lid. But I've knocked out the side, knocked out the other side, and then I've done this rotating of sitting and standing. And that's kind of how I work through the vehicle in the macro. Now in each panel, I also break down a process. So in the fender, I like to knock out the front portion. I slowly start pushing my light back, and I knock out the middle, and then I knock out that top. On these fenders, you want to make sure that you are accounting for any damage on this very top portion here. Of course, on the Civic, this is flat, but on a lot of these On a lot of vehicles, the fender, the very top of the fender rolls up into the vehicle, and that slight curve on a lot of fenders can be really deceiving. So make sure that you're accounting for the damage right in there. Now, after knocking out the fender, I like to go into the front door, where I am going to open the door slightly. I'm going to place the light here, which means I'm taking out the side view mirror. This can be an obstruction. This can obstruct your view from working that top part of the door. So make sure you're taking your side view mirrors off. And then for the rear door, I'm gonna be opening up the front door, tucking my light in. That way I get a good view of the rear door. And then you heard me say earlier, for the quarter panel, I'm rolling through the quarter panel by tucking the light into the rear door opening. Now on my rails, I like to start at the very front. I'm gonna be placing my light pretty low, pretty close to the wheel. That way I can stand up. And even on rails, I will get up on a step stool. Even though I'm over 6 feet, I still wanna have a really good top-down view of the front portion of this, especially on the A-pillar, since it's drastically downwards. I want to place my light low and get up high so I get my chin with the panel. And then I'm going to roll through about halfway through the vehicle, bringing my light all the way around to about right here, and I'll stop right in here with my repair. I'll push that light back, blend a little bit, but I'm gonna then flip my light around and work the last half of the rail facing the deck lid. So I'm gonna push that light back, lay on the panel, and blend with my chin directly on that rail so I can see the damage for what it is. Now, on the quarter panel, same thing. You want to account for the sail panel, so make sure you get that light up higher. Get the light up higher up here so you can actually get low and look up this rail, just to be able to cross-check, double-check the damage in that portion. Sometimes you can get a tool on the sail panel, and sometimes you're having to glue pull. So, and when it comes to glue pulling on the sail panel, don't pull too hard. It's a very soft panel, and if you pull too hard, you're just gonna create a lot of stretched metal and really big highs. So, but I like to look downwards on that, and then of course, I'm gonna be getting low, getting my body down, chin with the panel, and pushing into that quarter panel. Now, on the hood, I always start at the same place, okay? Hood on a stand, I like to start about, I will break this up into quarters, okay? Both length and width. So it's just imagine I'm sitting right here. I'm gonna start over here on this edge and work my way up. Now, when it comes to the hood, when I'm sitting down and my light's out front on the nose, I don't work this back lip right in here or the same as the front. Usually this is better attacked by looking through the side, and the front is sometimes double paneled, so I also want to work that from side to side. But I'll kind of eat up this whole middle section, and then just like I'm mowing my lawn, I'm going to roll through back and forth, going throughout the hood. Then I'm gonna turn the hood and work this back quarter, this front quarter. That way I get good perspective. Usually, because this is double paneled, I'm gonna use either long whale tail or some brace tools up at the front so I can cross-check properly. But I have a process on the hood, very similar to mowing my lawn. We just wanna mow through. Now, on the roof, I like to work this front area first. I'm going to place the light on the other side of the vehicle. And of course, just like the hood, where I don't work the front lip or the back lip immediately, I do the same thing on the roof. Perspective is everything. I want to make sure that I'm getting proper perspective, light placement, body placement, and it's very hard to account for this front lip right here with your light on the other side of the vehicle. But it is easy to clean up all of the meat, this middle section of the roof, and then as I kind of start here and roll through and my light is moving with me as well, I can now turn that light to the side and go work that front lip by looking down the vehicle instead of across the vehicle. So bring the light around. We're going to be working this first 5 inches or so, looking straight down the roof until I get about halfway, flipping the light around, doing the same thing on this front section, rinse and repeat on the other side. Once I've made a couple of good passes on that side and this side, then I'm gonna do some hard angles, okay? Major cross-checking. I'm gonna place the light on that back corner, and I'm gonna stand on this front corner working at this angle, flipping it around and doing the same thing on the other side. Hard angle, light up at that corner, me on this back corner, looking diagonally across the panel, and then I'm gonna get on the other side and do the same thing. Now, the deck lid can be very deceiving, this slight contour, the slight curvature, and especially if it has any kind of spoilers, but it can be very deceiving. So you definitely want the deck lid off of the vehicle. If it's super light damage and you know it's gonna be clean, you're gonna get some good angles in your cross-checking, then sure, you can work the deck lid with it on the vehicle. But this heavier hit hail should be a removing the deck lid or trunk off of the vehicle type situation. You've got to get this on a stand. It's going to be very important to remove the spoiler and be able to stand on this back side of the trunk so you can look straight down the panel. Now, just like the hood, I don't work this first few inches right here while looking straight down the panel. I usually save that so I can turn the deck lid to the side and look all the way down, and then I'm working this front inch or two right here, and maybe 3 right in this area, just where the skin is pretty close to being right on top of each other, right where that brace, that little structure, that cavity comes to an end. I'm gonna work this front portion looking straight down the deck lid. But look, you want to be cross-checking like a madman. I will not only do the bulk of the work looking this way, turn it and work the front lips looking down this way, but I will stand on the back side of the trunk and make sure I'm looking upwards. This is how a customer looks at a vehicle, okay? You're gonna clean up the vehicle or the trunk pretty good if you will work it this way, turn it, work it this way, but you definitely want to always look at panels the way a customer is looking at it. You might surprise yourself how often you'll miss something or see a flicker. So on the deck lid, find a process that leads to you cross-checking and working that panel from multiple angles. Now look, keep in mind something with hail. When you are working, especially on the hood and you're trying to save a hood, when you're working clusters of dents, do not treat each dent like it's on its own individual island. You need to work clusters of damage at the same time. So what I mean is, when I have a few dents that are closely grouped, I will give attention, a little bit of attention to each one, and I'll rotate from one dent to the next within that cluster. I don't look at it as fixing one dent at a time. I look at it as fixing one area. This atomic structure needs to be able to depend on its neighboring features, okay? This is all one big structure. These dents are not on their own individual island. So when you are working one dent, it is going to affect the next. Don't try to bring one dent to 100% and then move to the next, because it's going to change once you start making a change on its neighboring defect. You want to make sure that all of them can depend on each other. All of the zones within the dent can only move freely if they can each depend on its neighboring zone, its neighboring feature, the neighboring defect. They're all connected. So when I'm working hail, I work clusters at a time, and I really do subtle improvement, subtle improvement, subtle improvement, come back around. Each one of them is getting a little attention, but they're all being worked at the same time. That way, any improvement I give here can act as stability for the next dent. That next dent's going to move a little more freely because it can depend on the stability that we've created on its neighboring dent. So you want to work an entire area together. Don't try to perfect one dent. Man, oh man, I promise you, when it comes to cross-checking, you are going to see change in the previous dent if you try to take it to 100%. So save yourself some trouble as you mow through the panel. Have a process for every panel. Work clusters together. Work clustering dents and neighboring dents at the same time, a little improvement, a little improvement, a little improvement, and you will get much cleaner, faster, freer flowing metal. And you are going to make some people happy by being able to save their panels. Look, if you enjoyed this video and you have more questions, get down in the comments section down below. I'm just gonna start hitting the record button and start putting together some content for y'all, whether it comes out pretty or not. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Share this video with a friend or a family member that you know wants to learn PDR. If you like this video, then of course, like this video. But until next time, work hard and go be great.